What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel as well as on Twitch, so make sure you come by and say hello. This video is also brought to you by my music, which is available anywhere you stream music under the name Aftersound, and I do have a new song out recently called Dreamin', so check it out. Let me know what you think, and I appreciate the support. Okay, guys, I have a voucher promo card idea that I would like to share with you guys, and here's the thing. This is probably something further down the road, and there will be... I'm actually curious to get the feedback, because I'm not saying that it's a fantastic idea. It's more so pie in the sky, what I'd love to see at some point in the future. Just in the game in general, but I think the voucher promo cards offer an opportunity to do that. And essentially what I'm getting at here, when I say down the road, like hopefully within like 6 months or by the end of the year, it'd be cool if they could implement this. And I will say this, I would be willing for the DAO to actually cover some of the funding or whatever for this ongoing, because we did a DAO proposal for vouchers, right, where the team essentially agreed to create a new card for us every 3 months, right, or 4 times a year. And that's great and all, but like the team doesn't benefit from this outside of, I mean, maybe, transactional things in the market or whatever the case is. But like vouchers come from validator nodes, and voucher price, none of that plays into anything that benefits the team, which is why I think if we were to pursue this in a broader context of just promo cards in general, and I'm going to get to that at the end, then I think it would be worthwhile to fund the team for this. Again, we would need to be in a significantly better place, but I'm getting ahead of myself here. So what is the idea? All right, well, so we have Ulfka the Blighted, we have Mana Warden. Those are the 2 cards that we've seen so far. There should be a third one coming out soon that we know is going to release on March 18th. What I would love to see is something Rooney-esque. So what do I mean by that? I would love to see cards that have randomly generated artwork. Now, they can all be the same Ulfka, right? So let's look at Ulfka, for example, here. But in the same way that we look at Rooney as having all of these different traits, whether it's the background, whether it's the eyes, whether it's the face, whether it's the arms, right, the weapon, all of that stuff, I would love to see that get used and utilized in the the voucher promo card. And the reason for that is because what it ends up doing is that everybody wants to have one of these cards. So therefore you go in and you you buy a card, and every card is going to be essentially different. Yeah, there might be a lot of similarities across the board, just like we saw with Rooney, but I think there's like 3,500 Rooney, but only like 569 Ulfka the Blighted. I know there's like 2,000 that have been purchased, 2,000 BCX, but overall, like, it's significantly less. And if we continue to get cards like this, right? Sure, I guess there could be way more with something like Mana Warden. In fact, let me go and check how many there are for Mana Warden, because that is a common, so that would be the most, and that would give us a range. But Mana Warden, there are currently 11,000, so it's quite a bit. But what am I trying to get at here? Everything that we would see with the card would be randomly generated, right? So the background, maybe the legs, the armor, whatever. And again, this would take a lot more from the team, which is why I think it's worth compensating for them. But it would be a cool way to do this, because then everybody would want this, right? You would either buy more SPS or you would buy vouchers, and it would, we'd burn a ton of DEC through that as well, right? Just because people are buying and selling vouchers for whatever the thing is. And it would give this value specifically to this card that would have this kind of unique quality to it. And so, and I'm not smart enough to know all the other implications of, how things would work as you level them up. For example, like let's say you buy 2 copies of a card, right? And maybe they should all be legendaries from here on out, just to mix or to make it standard. Let's say you buy 2 copies of a card, and then you combine them. Well, maybe it takes some of what the other one has and some of what it has, the second one has, and maybe you can choose, right? Although that would probably require more dev work, or maybe it's just random, which actually adds to the fun of it, right? Because it's just like, oh, I'm going to take these 2 cards and combine them. Or I'm going to take these 11 cards, get a max copy, and combine them and see what I get, right? And again, all of it will be randomly generated. You're probably going to have some that look very similar to one another, but your card would be yours. It would look like yours, and people would love these cards. They would chase them down, and they would get node licenses, or they would get node licenses or SPS, and want these cards, right? It would make them highly, highly desirable. It would be a big benefit. To me, it would be a big benefit and something really cool from a collector's perspective. And almost like, I don't know, I think for my gamers out there, think back to like Pokemon and like Eevee specifically, where it's just like every time you evolved Eevee, you didn't know what you were going to get, right? So similarly, you can have that kind of excitement here where it's like, okay, I like this card. I like the traits that it has. It's maybe, you know, a little bit more rare, or I should say scarce, right? In terms of like some of these traits, we don't see them in all the other ones, just like we can check with Rooney, like the scarcity of the certain traits. And so maybe I'm not ever going to level this one up because I don't want that, right? So therefore, I'm going to go and buy another one because I want to level it up and get a max copy of the card. Either way, I think something like that would add a collector kind of gamification to it, which would be really, really fun. And like I said, this is why it would make these voucher cards highly desirable. People would want to get node licenses for the vouchers. They would want to get more SPS for the vouchers. And it would be a fantastic way to kind of move forward and make these cards highly desirable. Now, in broader context, why would we not do that with other cards in the game? Well, let me talk through the promo card thing for a second. I think that the only reason we had a massive amount of promo cards for Rebellion specifically is because A, the team needed funding, and B, probably doing too many cards for a mini set was, it was just, we were in a position where the team was stretched thin in terms of resources. And again, this is more like a card inflation issue as well, right? There's a ton of cards out there already. So the team, was recognizing that. The team was also recognizing that they needed the funds, right? And so therefore going to the DAO for this. And that's why we just had this massive, our two massive promo card sales, right? One was the auction for Heloise, and the other one was the, everything else that we got, which kind of puts it out of, it's much more difficult for people to get into something like that. And I'm not saying that the vouchers would be easier or not, but my hope is in the future, the team doesn't need to do all of these promo card sales. Like, let's get optimistic for a second here and say that Conclave Arcana, with where things are at in the game, with the marketing that they plan on doing, with hopefully, the crypto bull run not being done yet and continuing forward, the team gets just into a much better place financially, right? Therefore, it's not like we just need to keep on selling cards. We need to keep on doing X, Y, and Z. We can start to do cool things with the cards that are already out there. And I know glamour is another aspect of this, but that's why I keep coming back to this point where it's just like, yeah, in the future, they can do promo cards for specific things, right? Like the Bitcoin halving event. Maybe they do like a yearly promo card or one specific promo card. And I'm not talking about like the Mantarots and Grimbardoon Smiths. Those will come as part of like the set launch. But like, we're not going to get 10 or 11 promo cards per set. That's like, I don't think, and I wouldn't like to see that in the future. I would really like to see promo cards be something that are scarce, right? Like, it's scarce not just from like a quantity, but like the amount that are out there and associated with the set. So if we can get to that point where the team isn't doing these promo cards because they need the capital or whatever, and can focus on like building out other areas of the game, more game modes and all these other things, right? For the cards that already exist, that would be awesome. Maybe we get a mini set, maybe we don't, right? Conclave Arcana is going to have whatever cards it's going to have. Maybe we get a mini set, maybe we don't. But we don't need a ton of other cards. There's already going to be reward cards that are associated with Conclave Arcana, right? So like, there's so many ways that we can go about this where promo cards are not super necessary the way that they were for Rebellion. That was like a moment in time. And if we can get to a better place, right? Community, the DAO, the team, financially, all of that, then moving forward, we can do cooler stuff with these types of promo cards. And I think the voucher promo card would be a fantastic place to start. And once again, I think the team can benefit from that. I'm willing to pay the team financially. The team can benefit financially from that for this. So again, I'm throwing a lot of ideas out there. This is more pie in the sky of something I'd love to see, either later this year or maybe something next year. But we'll have to obviously wait and see how things play out with the Conclave Arcana launch, as well as market dynamics and where things end up for the DAO's resources as well as the team's resources. But I'm feeling bullish. There's a lot going on in the Bitcoin world that I think will translate over to the crypto world at some point, but we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, open to any and all feedback. I'm not saying that this is a fantastic or fully fleshed out idea. Just trying to put some stuff out there that I think would be interesting for the future and make the voucher promo cards highly desirable, and then indirectly, or maybe even directly, drive value back into SPS and node licenses simply because people want these vouchers. They don't want to have to pay and do the whole 10% tax and all that on the back end. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. That's all I got for you in this video. I'll catch you all in the next one and see you around the game. Take care.